Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating paradox, one that affects millions of us every single day, and a lot of the time, we don't even see it happening.
So here's the big question. Doesn't this feel true? We are pouring billions, literally billions of dollars into this massive wellness industry that promises us health, beauty, confidence, you name it. And yet so many of us feel, well, less healthy, kinda insecure, and just further away from that ideal than ever. What is actually going on here?
To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to start by looking at the very industries that are promising to make us all better.
Okay, so take a look at this list. It's a weird one, right? You've got an industry designed to end life, one designed to sustain it, and one designed to make it look better. But what on earth do they have in common? Well, it's a massive, powerful profit motive. And when profit is the #1 goal in industries that tap into our deepest fears and desires, the fear of dying, the desire to be beautiful, things can get really complicated.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because these industries can flip the basic rules of how a market works completely upside down. See, in a normal market, you have a need, a demand, and a company creates a product, a supply, to meet that need. Simple. But here, it often works backwards. They create the supply first, a new pill, a new cream, a new wonder product, and then they create the demand, usually through marketing. They basically invent a problem you didn't even know you had, and surprise, they've got the perfect solution ready to sell you.
And that whole economic model, it leads us to a really crucial point. It creates a system that isn't really designed to make you healthy, it's designed to make you a customer for life.
And that leads to this powerful and honestly kind of unsettling business model, the sustainable patient. Think about it. A cured patient is a lost customer, but a sustainable patient, someone who manages a condition with a prescription they have to refill every single month for years, that is a guaranteed, reliable stream of revenue. The goal shifts from curing the problem to just managing it forever.
Let me make this super practical. You get a headache. What's the first thing you do? For most of us, it's to reach for a painkiller. We almost never stop and ask, why does my head hurt? Am I dehydrated? Did I sleep badly? Am I stressed out? Nope. We've been taught to just shut the signal off, to silence the messenger. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Your body's symptoms, they're like a fire alarm going off. And by just popping a pill, all we're doing is yanking the battery out of the alarm so we don't have to hear the noise. We're not putting out the fire, we're letting the thief keep ransacking the house. And that doesn't lead to real health. It just leads to a state of constantly managed sickness.
Okay, I know this might all sound a bit abstract, so let's bring it right down to earth with a real-world example, a product that millions of us use every single day, thinking we're doing something good for ourselves.
Let's talk about sunscreen. We're told over and over to use it to protect ourselves, but what are we actually slathering all over our skin? Well, one of the most common chemical filters in popular sunscreens is a little thing called Homosalate. And the science on this ingredient is, well, it's pretty alarming. So get this, Homosalate is a known endocrine disruptor. That means it messes with your hormones, and it gets absorbed directly through your skin, which is your body's biggest organ, by the way, and goes right into your bloodstream. But here's the kicker, it's fat-soluble. Your body has a really hard time getting rid of it, so it just builds up and up and up in your fat tissue over your lifetime. And it gets worse. It's been found in the amniotic fluid of pregnant women and even in newborn babies. It's literally being passed down from one generation to the next.
Now, regulators are slowly starting to catch on. The concentration has been dropped from 10% down to 7%. But the actual science, it suggests the safe level is below 0.5%. And while the European Union is banning it completely in 2025, it is still on shelves and being sold to us right now. So we're putting a product on our bodies to prevent one problem while it is actively creating another one.
So that all sounds pretty bleak, right? It can feel overwhelming, like you're trapped, but what's the solution? How do we even begin to navigate this? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it all starts with a single 2-letter word.
Or. That's it. This simple word, it's like a superpower. It's the tool you use to reclaim your agency. Instead of just accepting the single marketed solution that you're handed, using the word or suddenly opens up a whole world of other choices. You get to create your own menu of options.
So let's apply this to the sunscreen thing. The industry says use our chemical sunscreen, but you can stop and ask, or what? Well, I could use it, or I can look for a safer mineral-based sunscreen with zinc oxide, or I could just wear a hat and a long-sleeve shirt, or I could stay in the shade during the hottest part of the day. All of a sudden, you're not a passive consumer anymore. You're an active decision maker in your own health.
This ancient wisdom just captures the Or philosophy so perfectly. Real, lasting change in health, it doesn't come from an outside force, like a cream or a pill being pushed on you. It comes from an inside force. It comes from your own awareness, your own choices, your own questions. It comes from you deciding to break the shell from the inside out.
And that idea of an internal force, it leads us to a much, much deeper way of thinking about what beauty and health really are. It's about shifting our entire focus from the outside in to the inside out.
You know, it's funny, the word cosmetics itself comes from the Greek word Kosmos, which means order, harmony, the opposite of chaos. The original point wasn't just to look good. It was about achieving a state of inner peace and balance that then, naturally, reflects on the outside. We've become so obsessed with painting the surface, we've completely forgotten to take care of the actual structure underneath. And it's not just our idea of beauty that's been flipped upside down. It's our definition of luxury. Today, we think of luxury as, expensive bags, fast cars, material things. But the famous economist Adam Smith, he had a totally different take. For him, true luxury was things that actually created deep human well-being. A great education, strong communities, time to think, meaningful social connections. The things that build our inner cosmos, not just our outer shell.
So it all comes back to that one simple, incredibly powerful question. The world is going to constantly offer you one prepackaged answer for everything, but you always, always have the power to ask or what. And by asking that question, you don't just change what you buy, you start to change your life.